Sarupayata Paramahansa Namine Gora Karuna Sarupaya Radha Krishna Prasnayati
Namo Sarupayata Paramahansa Namine Gora Karuna Sarupaya Radha Krishna Prasnayati
Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Narayana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Narayana Radha Krishna Krishna prestayate.
Ako siya surumayata, Marama sa Davide, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
So, Honorable Namaste. So, this morning we will discuss something that will be what we can be looking and seeing and understanding with the process we are participating or engaging in. So, we see if we are making progress. So when a person is drowning, he needs air. The most important factor that he wanted to get or gain is to have this life continuity through having air. So all of us here have come to a certain point of understanding our essence, our true function, and our activities that we are engaging in. So if we're making progress, we can check if we're very eager to learn to understand more or to be close. Just like when you're serving someone, you wanted a relationship with someone, an amiable, loving relationship. Your enthusiasm to do what is pleasing, to be amiable to that person, to serve that person, to love that person. You're very enthusiastic. There's eagerness. But if you just wanted a relationship that's not really close, you're not eager. You have no enthusiasm. So it's a sign that, the sign is that you don't put time. You do not put effort. You do not put effort. It's like when a person is drowning, he just drowns. You know, instead of grasping for air to survive, doesn't do that. It just goes, get drowned. So it's also like that in our situation. It begins with the conditioning we are in now. What is that conditioning? We're under the influence of material nature. And we have been following the dictates or the influence of material nature. So I'll read to you here how we can check and balance. You can know if you're making progress. Because if you look back at the activities you've been doing for so long, you can check if, am I making progress? Do I have refuge? Am I really experiencing this calmness in my heart that I can now differentiate between the troubled mind and me? The troubled mind means so many anxiety, wanting, willing, feeling, that is the mind. And you, the person, are you able to understand and see yourself? And if you're able to make progress to understand who you really are, and the activities now you're engaging in is in connection with your eternal joy and happiness, which is connection with the source of joy, the Supreme Person. Because we are longing and looking for happiness. And the happiness we've been conditioned to experience through our activities did not make us really happy and experience fulfillment. That's why we're here. We're still struggling hard, trying to look, see, touch. It means the living entity, you, through sense perception, you begin to contemplate. So what is the contemplation? What is the meditation in your mind? Prior to coming and understanding this, you have no option but to follow your mind, to follow the desire in the mind, to follow the desire with the promise of the fruits of enjoyment, of happiness. If I will be able to get that fruit and experience and taste it, either eating, touching, whatsoever. Sense perception, you contemplate and you act upon it to get the fruits. So now you ask this simple question. You've been doing that for so long. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Or your mind is still troubled? And you are now in a situation wherein you identify with the desire in the mind. So it means you're itching. So the more you itch, the more you scratch. So when there's an opportunity for you to understand this through hearing, a process that will establish and give clarity to your identity, who you really are, and where to find happiness, you can check if you're enthusiastic or eager. If you have no eagerness, it means when there's discussion, there is an opportunity for you to learn more, you're not interested. You're very far. It's a duty. It's like a program. You're in. You just sit in, listen, and just. But if you are not able to grasp and understand and apply it, then it will be a great loss upon you. In your conditioning, all of you here, you all went to school. You learned the science of mathematics, vocabulary. You learn. In the beginning, you don't know how to speak, you don't know how to write. So what you went to school and learned. You learn simple math, addition, multiplication, subtraction, and you were taught different formulas. Now you can, when you see numbers, when you have to deal with numbers, you know how to apply what you have learned. Either in different fields, economics, computer science, you can, because you went to a school that you learn, if you really learn, if you really understand. For example, vocabulary, grammar, you were taught how to construct paragraph. What is a sentence? What is a question mark? What is an adjective? What is noun? And now you know about it. And then you study in your classrooms. You're given every day a task to read the book. And you are advised every day to learn 50 word meanings. And then that word meanings, if you're just, word meaning. So you can, when you construct a sentence and you read the book, suppose you should be writing an essay. There's ideas and color that the eyes cannot see, but you can understand what is green, what is yellow, what is hot, what is cold, because you know the meaning. Understand? But if you don't know that, how can you construct a sentence? How can you write a paragraph? Diba? You're not eager. Diba? Tawag nila ron, mangmang. Diba? So, it is very important to learn and understand what you're doing. And in this case, it is about you, the person. For so long, we have been conditioned in this world, thinking we're the body, we follow the mind, and activities we do. So I'll read to you here the problems we are facing and how to address the problems that we will face every day. How we will face every day. And assess if I'm making progress. Is it clear? If you're making progress. Just like when a person is drowning, he grasps for air. He puts his head out and look for something to hold on. And then he gets hold on something. He makes effort, although it's hard, to hold on that and get out of that water so he can experience the natural experience of breathing air. He survives. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with material senses, o Son of Kunti. Each pleasure have a beginning and an end, And so the wise man does not delight in them. After understanding the difference between matter and light, this absolute knowledge of the difference between you and matter, animate living you, the person, active by nature and understanding that matter. So the living entity must, all of us, must understand where to direct our lives, what we should be meditating, how we can be, in a way, after understanding the difference between you, me, and the mind, and my intelligence, I can use it to direct it for my purpose so I can benefit. So, our guide are the saintly person. Our instructor are the saintly person, the representative of God. So Saint Prabhupada tells Maharaj Nimi, this material world is a place of suffering. That if you want to get out of this suffering, don't ever think that you will not experience suffering and pain in this world as what we are all experiencing now. You know? So, it is better to follow someone who is transcendental, who can guide us to get out of this miserable world. And that is the wisdom we are learning every day and trying to grasp and understand. Not by our own power, we make a choice because you have already made a choice for so long, and the choice you've been making, the activities you're engaging in, all of us, is directed upon this temporary world and trying to find happiness through sensual experience, not addressing what will benefit us. So now we are given this opportunity by God because He loves us. But our relationship with God, with the Supreme Person, is vague. We just, in our heart, because it's natural that we are longing for someone to protect us, we think of God. But we cannot see Him, we don't know about Him. So this opportunity now to be able to see Him and to be close with Him is given to us by Saint Prabhupada, and especially under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, who is the representative of God, who is a confidential loving servant of God, the ambassador of God. And the qualification he gave is what we have studied previously. He has no material consideration. He's master of his senses. He can control the urge of the mind, the belly, and the genitals. He is a Goswami. He is a pure loving servant of the Supreme Person. He is not of this world. He's transcendental to all this material consideration. And if we follow him, we are following the will of the Supreme Person for our benefit. And that benefit is connecting ourselves in harmony with the will of God. Harmony with the will of God. So if we are not in harmony with the will of God, with this desire, and we have no guidance, then this is our situation now. The master we follow is the mind. And the activities we do is through the senses, and it's the cause of suffering and pain. Through sense perception, if you're ignorant of your true identity, you begin to contemplate. This will make me happy. If I get this, this will make me happy. If I give my life to this person, I will be happy. For example, you have a child. So in the beginning, it's really hard. A mother, they engage in, contact, and then you have a child. You have to bear the child. You have to take care of the child in your womb for 9 months. It's not easy, You have morning sickness, and your body is very fragile because you're carrying someone inside your ovary. And then when that person gets out, that bloody thing that's covered by blood, the living entity covered by that blood, goes out. But it's natural for us to have affection and love for someone. Mother Nature arranged it. But if we have no wisdom, we are not able to make our effort this love that we have be the cause of our freedom and our care and love directed to that person will be his happiness. If it's not with this transcendental wisdom, you become attached to the child, and the child who is in that body grows. You become attached, and then he is not understanding also that he's not the body, he follows the mind, he follows the dictates of the senses, and that person whom you love, you don't have solution. So, if we have this guidance of our true transcendental nature and how we can be directed upon this transcendental relationship with all living entities, it begins first with relating to the Supreme Person doing His will, to be in harmony with His will. That's why we study scriptures so we can be guided. So here, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, if you're intelligent, an intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery, which are due to contact with material senses. So when you are ignorant of your identity, you follow the dictates of the senses. Because your contemplation, your sense perception, you the person, you identify with the body, you see, you think, if I grasp it, I use it, I'll be happy. But that is not the case. Because the source of happiness that you're trying to focus is an illusion. You're not seeing the person. And what you see now here will all continually pass and transform into different forms. And you also, the person who is in this physical body, made out of matter, you're trying to find happiness through this matter by grasping it, seeing it, relating to it. That's why that's the conditioning of a person, of someone who is in this state of false ego. She thinks or he thinks, I'm this body, I'm the Lord, I want to experience joy, and you want to be served, you want to give love. But it's misdirected because it's in ignorance. So look at our lives now. So when you identify with the body, the suffering, how much you identify is so great. For example, you now, all of us here, you identify with the body. Your goal is to become famous. Your goal is to become, to really have more labels, knowledge, labels, so you can be glorified. You can be glorified. You can be number one. You can grasp many things. You can relate to so many people, and you want to be the number one. And every time you do something, it's all about you. And what happens is that you experience this insecurity in your heart. What is that insecurity? If I don't get it, nobody likes me, nobody loves me, then nobody glorifies me, you experience this anxiety in your mind, this anticipation, you'll not be happy. Just like this singer, every time he goes to the concert, he's so nervous. What if the people whom he is trying to, hype, with his songs, with his love songs, and they begin to throw tomatoes at him, bottles, and everything. Get out of there, we don't like you. So every time he goes to this concert, he's so nervous, he's so upset. So he takes drugs to calm himself, his anxiety, and then he goes there to hype the people. But what is he hyping? Trying to hype, diba? In many ways, in different moods. For example, in the mood of goodness, you try to portray your music, like Beethoven. Because it's cool, everybody's silent. This assembly, this opera house, everybody with their tuxedo, the way they move as if they cannot break a glass, and everybody's so cool, even though their mind is not cool, and their mind is everywhere, They try to listen to Beethoven, waltz and everything. Try to experience this feeling. But it's temporary. It's not satisfying to the soul. You, the person. So this person who is a rock and roll singer, he goes there, he tries to hype you, or he hypes you with love song, love song. And you begin to feel, you wanted to experience that sound that comes out of his mouth. His griping, his sadness of loneliness, he projects that to you. His anxiety, and you listen and you try sentimentally, oh, it breaks my heart, And what is all of that about? That if you're alone, just call his name and he'll be there or she'll be there. And that's what you do every day. The songs, different flavor but same banana. Different feelings but same banana. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And the mode of ignorance is really nonsense. Talk, 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 talk. Everybody dance, try to portray. Look what I got. I can dance. Look at my boobs. Look at my sexiness. And they do, look at me. Look at me. Di ba? Look at me. And everybody say, you're ugly kid. You're shit. You're not worthy to listen and even to look at. And what happens to you? You identify with the label, this body. You feel down, And what if the people you're trying to project that you're great, hype them, hype them, jump, 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 jump. Dance, dance, dance. And everybody say, throws a tomato, get out of there. We don't want to hear you. We want Bieber, not you. Not Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart, get out of the get out of the stage. You're already super senior citizen. Dancing, trying to play, and hyping us. We've been hearing that song on and on and on. About love. About what? What love? Love of this body? Look, be real. Did it really give you happiness? You sing love songs, imaginary love song and sentiment. That's why we must be focused in doing the will of God, to be in harmony with the will of God. And how to do that? By God Himself telling us what to do. A process that we engage in, a transcendental meditation, not this sense perception and contemplation, because there's two activities. One can help you, the other one can entangle you. Material activities based upon sense perception and activities to achieve the fruits and taste the fruits, then you taste the fruit. If it's in the mode of goodness, oh, so sweet. Then after that, it's gone. But it's not really fulfilling to the heart. Because it's a misdirected goal. Your life, and you're trying to find happiness in matter. And if it's passion, when after a while you see this guy singing the song, singing blues, blues. She's out of my life, the fire has died. Before you're burning, 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 burning. She's burning. Then after that, what? You sing this song, while drinking your booze, trying to grasp the dead sound, your emptiness, your loneliness, and you're trying to portray to everybody who are also lonely. And everybody feels that, yeah, it's blues, man, it's blues. And they drink the booze. It's blues, let's drink the booze, So open your eyes. You ask this question, who am I? Why am I here? Am I really happy? Is there a way out of it? Yes, there is. Through God's mercy. Through the science of pure loving service, which is eternal, because it is in harmony with the will of God. That is the reason saintly person comes, the Son of God comes, to remind us whom we should be following and what we should contemplate. So it's very simple. So Jesus Christ tells us, the enemy of the cross are those who set their mind on earthly things. What could be more earthly than this body? So if your mind is focused upon this dead world, then your life is dead. But if the living entity whose life, immutable, transcendental, connects himself with the Supreme Person, who is the cause of all causes, who is the Lord of love, who is self-sufficient, my eternal friend, my eternal master, my eternal father, connects himself through his guidance by the following teaching of the saintly person like Saint Prabhupada. One must approach a bona fide spiritual master and listen to him. Because we've been listening to the dogs and the frogs for most of the time. And our meditation with our heart, with our life, is focused upon the dead world. So no way you can be happy because your life is already dead. You're the living dead. Because your meditation is upon this dead world. So never, even though you try so hard to find this security and happiness, you never get it. You're looking in the wrong direction. Is it clear to you? You assess your life. Because the program, the process we do is not, to impose upon you. It is the wisdom that will make it clear, in clarity, who you are, what you should do, what will make you happy, how you can be successful. But if you're servant of the mind, you identify with the mind, your shelter is the mind, then your shelter is this world, then definitely you are you're going to experience all the pain of this world. Because it's connected with this body, and this body is the source of your pain. Because it's matter, birth, death, disease, and old age is experienced through this body. And when you, the living entity, life, tries to find happiness in dead matter, definitely you're dead. Because that is not the direction you should be heading to. So an intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery. So how are we guided? We're guided by a process that will connect us with God. So we are very fortunate to come in contact with the disciples of Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, giving us this guidance that will connect us with what is connected eternally with us. The desire to serve. Activities in service, because that is what is spiritual, transcendental, and divine. Service to God. That is spirituality, not this religiosity of joining a group. You can be a Christian today, thinking I'm a Christian. But prior to all those people during Jesus Christ came 2,000 years ago, those people there who have not been member of this so-called temporary idea that I am a Christian. And the question is, you may follow a religious group, a faith, but you must ask this question. If I join this, I follow this, I make believe, will it really substantiate or spiritualize my true transcendental relationship with God? The activities I do, or I just join because I was born in this family and everybody adheres to this religious faith and group. I'm a member, it's just there. Now we ask this simple question. If the process that I am now in, the religiosity, the rituals, if it's really helpful, that it connects me and substantiates my relationship with God, to be in harmony with God, with my true transcendental nature, that's fine. But if it puts me in a situation wherein I identify now with the false body and this false ego, thinking I belong to this group, I am this body, then there's a problem. You must check, because it cannot substantiate what Jesus Christ is teaching, what Allah is teaching, what Lord Krishna is teaching, and the spiritual master. Because definitely the teaching here is in harmony with what Lord Jesus Christ is teaching. That if we meditate upon this temporary world and try to contemplate, through sense perception, contemplate and try to squeeze and get happiness through sensual experience, we will not be happy. So if we meditate upon matter, not understanding that it belongs to God, it can be directed to help us be connected with God. How? Through hearing. What have you heard for so long? What are you hearing? Whom are you following? Those individuals who are conditioned by the three modes of material nature. So, the point here, when Jesus Christ tells us, as you sow, you shall reap. or karma. A certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. What action you do will have a corresponding reaction. If you are under the influence of goodness, goodness. If under the influence of passion, passion. If you do bad things, you are the one responsible, then you are accountable. You do good things, it will come back to you. But the whole point is to be in harmony with God's will. So the living entity, you are active by nature. So now how can I be in harmony with God? So that is the science we follow. Because by following the purificatory process that purifies the heart, if we're making progress, we can see. We can now breathe naturally. You're not drowning anymore. You can see that whatever you do will have a corresponding reaction. For example, very simple na lang. During high school days, it's called puppy love. Because when you were in a younger age, you just play, The girls play Barbie doll, Barbie doll, house, cook, Play with boys, little boys. No malice, just play. But when you reach a certain stage, adolescence, puberty, adolescent, your attraction now is different. Your sense perception, your contemplation is different. You get attracted now with a living entity in different bodies. For example, you're in a male body, it's natural to get attracted to someone who's in a female body, So, when you don't have this knowledge in the beginning, your heart, every time you see her, you cannot take her out of your mind, every day, you just standing there looking at her, Because what? You want to give your love. You want to experience happiness of relating. But the problem is that person is an individual. She has also her own choice, activities, and she may not be inclined with what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And you meditate upon her every day. And then you're hoping against hope that she looks at you, that she relates to you. You want her affection, her love. Because you're thinking, through your activities. And then what happened? A new boy comes in town, He's good looking, like he wear like these clothes of the, like the Koreans, and his hair is like the hair of the horse, it's straight. Yellow, green, blue. And her contemplation, wow, it's that guy, And she doesn't look at you. And she goes for that guy, and it breaks your heart. Is it clear to you? And then you fall. Puppy love, you fall in love, boom. And then you experience the pain at a young stage. Oh, so painful, My heart, she broke my heart. Then you sing the song of, you want to continue that, That's why you sing the song of, James Taylor, Just call my name, I'll be there. So you can experience all the pain, that your heart got broken and you begin to meditate alone, Oh, painful. But you don't know that. When you're identifying with the body, you're under the influence of material nature. But when you chant the holy names, you become purified and you begin to see there is an answer to this problem. The reason I'm suffering is because I put my meditation upon that person, and that person, the life in that person, the life, I'm trying to relate to that person as the body. My love is deflected upon that body. The person. And that person has his own will. So, what you do, you try to water the leaves, but it doesn't get to the root. So the process we follow is to be in harmony with God. Do His will is like watering the root of the tree. And you water the root of the tree, it goes to you. You never, how come I don't? You come to the point of, there's nothing more to be gained. Matter comes, the living entity in different forms. She may be in the mode of passion, really active, really, makes effort, to entice you, with words, with makeup, and everything. You're not interested because your focus, your heart is with God. You experience realization and experience. You have nothing more to gain. And you look at that form, the source of suffering, the source of attachment. And if I do that, then what will happen? I'm going to experience what I have been experiencing on and on and on and on. The scratch, the scratch, the scratch. The wound doesn't get healed. So you water the root of the tree, it means you must follow what the will of God. When Lord Krishna tells us, just find a bona fide spiritual master, follow him. He loves me. He will teach you how you can love the Supreme Person, and the relationship is about unconditional love. And with the wisdom, we can understand that we're just temporary in this body. This world is temporary, made out of matter. It belongs to God. So instead of trying to see the avenue for the spirit soul, you who are trying to squeeze happiness, trying to use this body, this field of activity, to find happiness in this big, big avenue of all the moles and all the living entities, you now have a different focus. It's the focus of doing the will of God. You, the person, and it connects you with the holy names. That is the science. Just like you learn the science of mathematics, or the science of how to compose, to compose sentence, grammar, and how to write essays, You learn that science. Now you must learn the science of the soul. You, the person, who is the most essential factor in this body. If you leave this body will break down. And if you love someone and you're thinking that person is the body, your relationship is deflected upon that form, because that form is a conditioning. A conditioning. What is food for a person, another man, is poison to another. Have you seen dogs telling you, I love you? Or the cockroach trying to go near you and say, I'll serve you, I love you? No. It's because of conditioning of the modes of material nature. You become free. You know now how to navigate. You know what's navigate? What's the navigator? A driver. You can use this vehicle now to drive, and the direction is God's direction. The driver, the navigator, you sitting on this machine made of this body, you put your life, your hands, in the hands of God, who is in control. And what is that control? It's about your love directed upon the source of love, Krishna, upon that eternal relationship. But the mind is made out of matter, and you've been conditioned for so long identifying with the body. The false ego, you think you're the body. So it must become free. Cut off you, the person, real ego. Then you can understand. You have been so foolish. You have been so foolish, and in ignorance you experience pain because you're not in harmony with what is eternal and transcendental, and a relationship that will satisfy you. You want an eternal friend? Krishna will be your eternal friend. You want an eternal father? Krishna. You want a lover? You want a master? Krishna. But all this world, in this world, is all temporary. It's all illusion. It's all illusion. Your father will not be your father eternally. That form that the father and mother you have, who gave you this body arranged by Mother Nature, that you have this body, is not your eternal father and mother. Your eternal father is the Supreme Person. That's why if you study Scripture, it's stated that everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is owned and controlled by God. Knowing well to whom they belong, one must use only the quota that is allotted to him. That even though the creator of this universe, tells us, Govinda, Adipursham, Tamahamba, at Govinda, Adipursham, Tamahamba Jami. Lord Govinda, Krishna is the source. He's the beginning, he's the end. Everything belongs to him. He has inconceivable potency. He's outside of everything, he is inside of everything. And you, the person, you're eternal. The forms you see here is temporary. So the meditation now must be directed upon what is transcendental and eternal. Now, if you're less intelligent, you'll use the body that you have, your life, make this choice to meditate and contemplate upon the source of suffering. Upon the source of suffering. Attachment to this body, attachment to this world. And all of this is illusion, temporary. Although matter and life are eternal, both eternal, but the forms you see here are temporary. And the spiritual world, there's no matter. Where devotional service is ongoing, loving relationship with the Supreme Person, it is the eternal religion or the life of the living entity. So we must be resituated in that state. That is the advice of Saint Prabhupada to Maharaj King Nimi. That is the advice of Lord Krishna to all of us. That is the advice of Lord Jesus Christ and all the saintly person. Is it clear and understandable? So, I'm not here, that's why I don't use people, they have this idea of joining and, they said, Jesus is the only way. How do you know Jesus is the only way? But I feel Jesus is the only way. I sing, Jesus is the only way. Jesus, one way, Jesus, one way, Jesus. Yeah, you sing that. And they like, I want this sentiment. Now, the question is, can you connect and substantiate what is the will of Jesus? Is your life connected with the will of Jesus? And he tells us, the enemy of the cross are those who set their mind on earthly things. Many, many will call me at the time, what you call us, at the time of everybody. Jesus, Jesus, have we not prophesied in your name? That Jesus is the only way? One way Jesus? Have we not done good works? Clean the beach that have been, dirtied by all those people who drink, intoxicated, throw bottles, smoke, and throw all their dirt. Have we not done that? And Jesus will tell them, get away from you workers of iniquities. You have not done the will of my Father. We have nothing in common because your meditation is upon this dead word. So that is the problem now that we face. What is your meditation? So you ask yourself. I ask myself. And then you begin to see how I pour passion. So this sentiment, one way Jesus, or Jesus Christ, the only way, the light, and the truth. No one comes to the Father except through Jesus. Yes, that's true. Now your question is, you, Jesus, yeah, he can save. But you, what is your understanding? What will substantiate that you're in harmony with the will of God and the will of Jesus? What? You ask what you do with your life. You ask, is it in harmony with the transcendental world of devotion? Because the only way you can become free from this suffering is when you, the person, is in harmony, in purity, in unconditional, pure devotional service. That is the goal, the science that our Guru Dev, that Krishna wants us to understand and to be protected and saved under his embrace. Now, whom are you embracing? With your body. So you have this body now, meaning you eat through food to maintain this body, you see. So we have given this process that we can use this body in the service of God. And how to do that? By offering, using everything, our meditation. God doesn't need us, but we need him because we are not self-sufficient. That is the science we're engaging in. You like to sing? Sing the glories of God because he's happy. Don't sing the glories of those individuals who are so intoxicated singing song that really is heart-wrenching and trying to experience that emptiness in their heart when they project that song. And we also try to, an empty cup sings an empty song, and we, an empty cup, never being fulfilled because it's in the wrong direction. The more we meditate upon the pain of this world, the sadness, his sadness trying to project, then you ask this question. Joining, following, pledging allegiance, it's not the way, but rather understanding the absolute truth and make a decision to be in harmony with that absolute truth. And it's all about what is spirituality. You are eternally the loving child of God. So whatever activities you're engaging in, you may be a teacher, a mother, a warrior, a soldier. How can you do it? By engaging in action in devotional service, guided by the devotees of God. The 9 process of devotional service, or karma yoga, action in the service of God, meaning you use this body to offer to God. God doesn't need it, but you offer. You offer a flower, you wake up in the morning, you sing the glories of God to connect yourself, your life, your heart with what is pleasing to God. That is the science of purification and achieving what has been disconnected with our state now. We have no love for God. The most important person in our life is me, I, me, mine. You know, this false ego. We must become purified. Is it clear to you? So that is the formula. That is the science you're learning and understand. Meaning, if you're making progress, you're very eager. Just like you see this dog, there's two dogs. This dog who's really, you know, the pet dog, you know, yeah, he likes to go near, lie down by the side of the spiritual master of the dog, you know. And then the teacher, the spiritual master, okay, puppy, go. This stick, you know, I'll throw this, but there's, you know, throw. And the puppy, wanting to please the master, runs to that stick and then bite it and bring it to the master, you know. The other one, the dog, okay, puppy throws that. The puppy just look at the master. Huh? What did you throw? It's hard, you know. I just like to sleep. It's just that. And then when the master tells, okay, let's go. And the puppy is there, you know, just looking, sleeping. Let's go, because this place is gonna get flooded, you know. Okay, come. And that obedient, subservient, who loves the master, goes with the master. And the dog, the other dog, is just there. And then the flood comes. He dies. So, it's your choice. It's your freedom. And you're responsible for your action. Haribol namaste.
Namo Sira Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate
Namo Sira Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Krishna
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribo
Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Haribo Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribo
Prabhupada.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Srila Swami.
Haribo Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa.
Haribo Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila Swami.
Haribo Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Srila Swami, Ananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Srila Swami, Ananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Sila Swarupananda Paramahamsa Name Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya